At 6 a.m. on May 27, 2015, plainclothes Swiss police entered the lobby of Zurich's five-star Bauer Olac Hotel. They proceeded to pull 7 of the most powerful men in global soccer from their beds, escorting them out behind white sheets to waiting cars. Simultaneously, the U.S. Department of Justice unsealed a 164-page indictment. Investigators detailed a $150 million conspiracy of racketeering and bribery that had been operating across the sport's regional confederations for nearly 24 years. At the center of the storm was FIFA president Sepp Blatter. He was days away from winning a 5th term in office, and despite the arrests occurring under the same roof, he appeared to remain insulated from the charges. While the DOJ described a rampant, systemic criminal enterprise, Blatter adamantly denied any personal involvement. He maintained that he could not be held responsible for the acts of others from different nations and cultures. The investigation left 2 possibilities. Either Sepp Blatter was the architect who engineered a global racketeering syndicate, or he was a savvy politician surviving at the top of a system he merely managed. Blatter's career began in the 1970s and 80s, where he learned the political ropes as an administrator working under his predecessor, President João Havelange. Havelange took a parochial governing body and turned it into a commercial machine. He began selling exclusive broadcasting and marketing rights to global brands like Coca-Cola and Adidas, generating the funds that would expand the game's global footprint. This commercial growth relied on a specific democratic mechanic, the one nation, one vote rule. In a FIFA election, a tiny island territory carries the same weight as a major global power. This created a patronage system. Executives sent development cash to smaller nations. In exchange, those nations provided the votes needed to keep the central presidency in office. Blatter did not invent this framework, but he mastered its mechanics. He used this system of dependency to secure his own rise to the presidency in the late 90s. Blatter took office in 1998, winning a campaign shadowed by rumors of cash-stuffed envelopes being distributed to delegates in their hotel rooms. Early in his reign, the marketing firm ISL collapsed, revealing $100 million in bribes paid to senior executives like Nicolas Leos. Despite the fallout, Blatter used the Swiss courts to deflect attention away from current leadership. Blatter's survival relied on allowing regional bosses, such as CONCACAF president Jack Warner, to run their territories like independent fiefdoms. Warner's general secretary was an American named Chuck Blazer. Known as Mr. 10%, Blazer funneled millions through shell companies to fund a lifestyle that included a dedicated Trump Tower apartment for his cats. The structure functioned as a cartel. The regional bosses absorbed the legal risks and collected the bribes, while Blatter remained at the top, collecting the guaranteed votes he needed to stay in power. In December 2010, the Executive Committee awarded the 2022 World Cup to Qatar, a desert nation with no soccer infrastructure and summer temperatures exceeding 120 degrees. The decision brought a new level of global scrutiny to FIFA's internal processes. This scrutiny gave federal investigators an opening. The FBI and IRS cornered Chuck Blazer on a Manhattan sidewalk, confronting him with a decade of unpaid taxes on his offshore income. Faced with the evidence, Chuck Blazer flipped. He admitted to taking bribes in conjunction with the host selections for the 1998 and 2010 World Cups and agreed to act as a government informant. During the 2012 London Olympics, Blazer went undercover. He sat in meetings with colleagues, recording their conversations using a wiretap hidden inside a standard keychain. The decision to award the World Cup to Qatar had unintentionally invited federal agents into FIFA's inner circle. They had turned one of the organization's highest earners into the witness who would dismantle the syndicate. In the days following the 2015 raids, a defiant Sepp Blatter moved forward with the 65th FIFA Congress and won his re-election campaign. His position collapsed 4 days later. Swiss authorities raided FIFA headquarters to seize electronic data regarding the bidding process, and Blatter announced that he would eventually step down. While the FBI followed the racketeering trail, Swiss investigators discovered a specific $2 million payment authorized by Blatter to UEFA president Michel Platini. Both men claimed it was a verbal gentleman's agreement for past work, but there was no written contract. The transaction led to fraud charges and lengthy bans from all football activities for both men. After surviving decades of corruption allegations involving hundreds of millions of dollars, Blatter's tenure was ended by a single, undocumented $2 million payment. Blatter has maintained his defense, claiming he is a victim of a witch hunt and was betrayed by those around him. He argues that he is not FIFA, he is just its president. However, public opinion largely rejected this view. When a protester threw fake dollars at Blatter during a press conference, it provided the image that defined his legacy. The case leaves a final question. Does the evidence show a mastermind who engineered a mafia-style state, or a politician who simply stayed at the top by managing a system that was already broken? The 2015 raids ended an era of unchecked independence for FIFA. They demonstrated that even the most insulated sports organization could be dismantled by a paper trail, provided that paper trail was measured in dollars.